Hi, my name is Patricia, and I'm an alcoholic and recovery addict. And I would like to read chapter 3 in this book that says, Why Are We Here? And let's start reading. Before coming to the fellowship of NA, we could not manage our own lives. We could not live and enjoy life as other people do. We had to have something different, and we thought we had found it in drugs. We placed the use ahead we placed the used ahead of the welfare of our families, our wives, husbands, and our children. We had hold on, let me put my glasses on. We had to have drugs at all costs. We did many people great harm, but most of all, we harmed ourselves through our inability to accept personal responsibilities. We were actually creating our own problem. We seemed to be incapable of facing life on its own terms. Most of us realize that in our addiction, we were slowly committing suicide, but addiction is such a cunning enemy of life that we had lost the power to do anything about it. Many of us ended in jail or sought help through medicine, religion, and psychology. None of these methods was sufficient for us. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until, in desperation, we help each other in Narcotic Anonymous. After coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. We suffered from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can, however, be arrested at some point in recovery that is then possible. We are addicts seeking recovery. We use drugs to cover our feelings and did whatever was necessary to get drugs. Many of us woke up sick, unable to make it to work, or went to work loaded. Many of us stole to support our habit. We hurt the ones we loved. We did all these things and told ourselves, I can handle it. We were looking for a new way out. We couldn't face life on life's terms. In the beginning, using was fun, but for us, using became a habit. It finally was necessarily for survival. The progression of the disease was not apparent to us. We continued on the path of destruction, unaware of where it was leading us. We were addicts and did not know it. Through drugs, we tried to avoid reality, pain, misery. Then the drugs wore off. We realized that we still had the same problems and they were becoming worse. We sought relief by using again and again, more drugs more often. We sought help and found none. All the doctors didn't understand our dilemma. They tried to help by giving us medication. Our husbands, wives, and loved ones gave us what they had and drained themselves in the hope that we would stop using or would get better. We tried substituting one drug for another, but this only prolonged our pain. We tried limiting our usage to social amounts without success. There is no such thing as a social addict. Some of us sought an answer through churches, religions, and cultism. Some saw a cure by geographic change. We blamed our surroundings and living situations for our problems. This attempt to cure our problems by moving gave us a chance to take advantage of new people. Some of us sought approval through sex or change of friends. This approval seeking behavior carried us further into our addiction. Some of us tried marriage, divorce, and desertion. Regardless of what we tried, we could not escape from our disease. We reached a point in our lives where we felt like a lost cause. We had little worth to family, friends, or on the job. Many of us were unemployed and unemployable, meant any form of success was frightening and unfamiliar. We didn't know what to do as the feeling of self-loathing grew. We needed to use more and more to mask our feelings. We were sick people, sick and child, of pain and trouble. We were frightened and ran from the fear no matter how far we ran. We always carried fear with us. We were hopeless, useless, and lost. Failure to become our way of life and self-esteem was non-existent. Perhaps the most painful feeling of all was the desperation, isolation, and denial of our addiction. He kept us moving along this downhill path. Any hope of getting better disappeared. Hopelessness, emptiness, and fear became our way of life. We were complete failures. Personality change was what we really needed. Change from self-destructive patterns of life became necessary. When we lied, cheated, or stole, we regarded ourselves in our own eyes. We had enough of self-destruction. We experienced our powerlessness when nothing we believed in our paranoia and fear. We hit bottom and became ready to help for ask. We became ready to ask for help. We were searching for an answer when we reached out and found Narcotic Anonymous. We came to the first NA meeting to defeat and didn't know what to expect. After sitting in a meeting, we were willing to help. All through our minds told us that we would never make it. The people in the fellowship gave us hope by insisting that we could recover. We found no matter what our past thoughts or actions were, others had done the same. Surrounded by fellow addicts, we realized that we were not alone anymore. Recovery is what happens in our meetings. Our lives are at stake. We found that by putting recovery first, the program works. We face these disturbing realizations. 1. We are powerless over addiction and our lives are unmanageable. 2. All through, we are not responsible for our disease. We are responsible for our recovery. 3. We can no longer blame people, places, and things for our addiction. We must face our problems and our feelings. The ultimate weapon for recovery is the recovering addict. We concentrate on recovery and feelings, not what we have done in the past. Old friends, places, and ideas are often a threat to our recovery. We need to change our playmates, playgrounds, and playthings. When we realize that we are not able to manage without drugs, some of us immediately began experiencing depression, anxiety, hopelessness, and resentment. Petty frustrations, minor setbacks, and loneliness often make us feel that we are not getting any better. We find that we suffer from a disease, not a normal dilemma. We were critically ill, not hopelessly bad. Our disease can only be arrested through absence. Today we experience a full range of feelings before coming into the fellowship. We either felt elated or depressed. Our negative sense of self has been replaced by a positive concern for others. Answers are provided and problems are solved. It is a great gift to feel human again. What a change from the way we were used to be. We know the NA program works. The program convinced us that we needed to change ourselves instead of trying to change the people and situations around us. We discovered new opportunities. We found a sense of self-worth. We learned self-respect. This is a program For learning by working the steps, we come to accept a higher power's will. Acceptance leads to recovery. We lose our fear of the unknown. We are set free. Yes, we are set free to the NA program. I'm going to get to how it works tomorrow, chapter 4. I have to do this, like part 1, part 2, you know. So, I hope you guys got something out of this reading tonight. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys got something out of this.